Hi everyone, it's me, Satya, coming back to you from the Goddess Touch Wellness Center, and this is part 2 of the Divine Masculine and Feminine. Again, totally my favorite subject ever, so I'm excited to be sharing this. So I'm thinking right now, I'm pretty much doing this right after part 1, and I still have ideas flowing. So I'd really like to deepen what I was talking about earlier about our collective consciousness and how the masculine and feminine apply to it, our culture, our way of being together. And I'd like to talk about where we've been in the past with it, where we are now, this shift that's happening, and where I can see us possibly going in the future in relation to the masculine and feminine. So we can start with the past. Let's start with where we've been as a culture. So I used to be really angry about this. I still have spots of anger in certain topics under it as to where we've been as a culture and how we've lived in the patriarchy, the male-dominated ways of life. I believe that we've lived in an unconscious version of the masculine, so I don't think that what we've been living thus far for the last 2,500 years has been a representation of the beauty of the masculine at all, but I think it's been a perversion of all the best characteristics, all the characteristics in general of the masculine's potential. It's been twisted, perverted, and turned upside down to get what we have right now. So I want to tap in a little bit to that anger because I do feel like I'm in a better place. I've done a lot of processing, but I know for a lot of you who are just coming upon this subject, you might be feeling more intense, and I don't want to make light of that. It's definitely, can be earth-shattering, story-shattering, when you hear what's been happening. So I don't want to take away from, these realizations, these sad realizations, or these frustrating realizations. So I kind of want to be with you on that as I talk about the past. Not too much. I can be in my own place and have compassion, but yeah, I want to tap into that with you. So we've been, in my opinion, we've been living in the unconscious masculine. We've been living in a society that values achievement over just being, but just being the feminine. We've been in a culture that says that you always have to be striving for more, reaching for higher to be worth anything, or be at the top. Maybe if you're born into the top, you're already worth something. But most of us, it's like, make sure that you're always reaching and you're always feeling you're not enough, because otherwise, you're lazy and you lose your worth as a human being. You can imagine the damage that this has caused to our sense of worth, to our sense of okayness, like we are okay just as we are. Our confidence, we call it. It's hard to be relaxed and be loving and relate to others when you're in this constant state of anxiety to be and to achieve, to prove who you are. So I can't imagine many people being very comfortable in that way. They may not know why they feel this constant anxiety, but I can guarantee that this is a lot of the reason. So yeah, we put pressure on kids to get straight A's and then go to the best college and then get the best job, and this is like the dream for all parents, but it only happens in some of the cases, very few of the cases, where they actually meet this ideal dream of being at the top of some arbitrary ladder. Um, but so let's think about that. If this is like the agreed upon dream of all of us, to be at the top of this arbitrary ladder, to be the top of a hierarchical structure, and most of us aren't there. Just imagine what that does to your right to be here every day, the way you feel about yourself. So just think for a moment, when you look around at advertising, we're given this, as women, we're given this masculine striving in the area of our looks. We're given constant messages that we're not beautiful enough, that we have to fit this certain mold to be considered beautiful and to have the life that we all want, right? When you read fairy tales and you watch Disney movies, or you watch pretty much any movie in Hollywood, it's always with an actress who has been molded into this ideal form of beauty. Whether she was born that way or not, whatever, and whether that truly is beauty is another story. But she's been molded into this definition that has been agreed upon in our time of what beauty is. Really skinny, tall, maybe big boobs, fake boobs, or light skin, blue eyes, green eyes, whatever. These stupid, arbitrary definitions of beauty have been conditioned into us. And that's a striving in itself that has us all just like never just feeling, I see a few women who I feel have mastered it, or maybe it never touched them the way that it did me, but I see a few who I feel are sitting comfortably in their skin, but I see the rest just insecure, and feeling not enough, believing those messages each day, and it's just really sad. Some of my friends will cancel dates. They won't even go on dates. They'll cancel life. They won't go to the beach, which the beach is one of the most amazing places to just be one with the ocean and just be in nature. And they won't go because being in a bathing suit is too humiliating, So I just see a lot of women putting their lives on hold. Oh, I'll do that when I'm 10 pounds lighter, I'll go here when I'm 10 pounds lighter. I'll wear that when I'm 10 pounds lighter. So, yeah, I just find that really sad that, I don't see a lot of women just being okay with who they are right now. Because if they were, they wouldn't have to spend so much money on beauty products in the fashion industry, wouldn't be making such a killing on us. So just think about that. Know that the messages, and I've done a lot of research on this, are by no accident, and that there is an agreed upon message that all advertisers are triggering in us. For women, it has been your looks, your looks, your looks, your looks. Just really hammering that in each day. Make sure that we never forget that we're not pretty enough. It's never, it's never enough. Everywhere you go, there's billboards, there's magazines, there's posters, and always reminding you that you're not enough. So it's no wonder most women are obsessed with their weight, or obsessed with, they have a shopping addiction, or like Sephora makeup, and I don't know, all these things. Rather than being fun things to adorn your goddess self with, in joy and happiness, these things are often bought and worn with a lot of anxiety. I just find it really, really sad. And you're going shopping, it's a sense of need. Like there's definitely an anxiety to it. Like, I have to look good tonight. Like otherwise, my life will be over. No one will talk to me. I won't, meet that guy, or, my best friends won't like me anymore. I know this tends to be in the younger ages that it's really that exaggerated, but we all have been conditioned into that, and so it's kind of it's there in the back of most of our minds as women. which, you can feel that for yourself, that it's really sad to not feel enough each day. And then on the men's side, men, the messages that you get each day, and that's that you should be earning more money. You should have a higher status career, obviously, because that's what would make you a worthwhile person. You should be wearing the business suits and the Rolex watches, and you should have girls on your arm. You should get all the girls, because one woman's not enough. You need 5. And I have no idea what you would do with 5, because I know one can be plenty, being a woman myself. It's just all these unrealistic expectations put on us each day. And none of us can just sit and be with all this pressure unless we make a real effort at that. And we consciously and purposefully begin to deprogram these structures, these beliefs that we've inherited. Because it's all over and so prevalent, we do have to do some work with that. It won't just come easily for most of us. Bringing this awareness to you, I think, will help, especially if you're at a place where you're ready to shift. It could just click, but often you'll hear this and something will click, but then you have to keep on integrating that in your life. You have to still go outside and see the conditioning and learn to keep spotting it for what it is, and learn to keep bringing in the counterbalancing points to yourself. Because really, each of the things that we're taught are completely ridiculous and silly when you really think about them, and can be easily rejected by the mind and the heart as just silliness, like craziness, really, with the definition of insanity, what a lot of us, are taught to want for ourselves. So if we saw 1 or 2 messages with these crazy these crazy ideas, we would probably, and the rest of our life was healthy, we'd be like, what is that? That's so, that's off. That's weird. Okay. But instead, we see these messages, these unhealthy messages, every single day. And we see them in the advertising, commercials, magazines, movies, Hollywood, TV stations, all in this operation together to get us to keep on purchasing and keep on feeling insecure in our skin, because they don't make money without us feeling insecure. So it really does benefit them to sell us the same messages. Drive those home. Why not work together, right? And there is a magazine, I forgot what it's called, so I'm not playing the masculine very well right now as far as showing my evidence, but you can think for yourself and you can look it up too. But there's, I believe it's a magazine, but it's sent out to all advertisers, and it talks about the latest trends and how to advertise to people, the latest trends happening in the advertising market. And so there really is this agreement between advertisers on what messages to be selling, and how best to make us feel insecure that month or that year. And they do a really great job at it. So anyway, I just have to say that to you, because that's, I think, one of the biggest influences in our lives and in these roles that we've been playing. We've all been playing some twisted version of the masculine and feminine. I don't think it's been, to our fullest potential, and to the actual spontaneous expression of them. I don't think it's very spontaneous or natural at all. I think it's, again, all these messages that we're robotically performing. And they'll take natural tendencies and exaggerate them to like the 100th degree. So we might feel a little something in our biology activated and think that it's, all from nature, but what we don't realize is that that piece of you is purposely activated and made to feel as if it's everything. Like sexuality is a huge one. sexuality in our culture is just out of control. It's a part of all of us, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful, and none of us can deny that it's awesome, or most of us can't. Um, but it's made, when you look around, it's just like an exaggerated um, symbol. Like it's just like so overplayed. Like I'm almost getting tired of it. Like it's like I need a break because it's just everywhere. And my heart needs to be nurtured and cultivated. And sometimes I meet people and I just feel they're like meeting the world with their sexuality instead of their hearts. And I almost feel like counterbalancing that. Um, I want to be just completely, whole and integrated and carry my sexuality with the other parts. But it's a smaller part. It's large and small at the same time. But when it's integrated with the heart and the higher consciousness and the earthly manifestation, like the body form, it's this beautiful, integrated wholeness that you carry around. And people can see the heart in your eyes still. They don't just see lust or, I've seen a lot of young people, like in their early 20s or teen years, and men go even later, where they have this like sexuality in their eyes and in their body language, and they're walking around always looking from sexual goggles, and always having to be attracted to someone or something, rather than just being and giving their heart, meeting people with their heart, meeting people with their personalities, meeting people with their more of their core nature, so that relation can happen. They meet it with lust, that creates a stronger polarity when you do that. And I find a lot of men to especially do this. Women too. Women play into the trying to be sex objects role, because that's what they're taught is their worth. So women play into trying to be the best sexual object, even though they don't know they're doing that. Trust me, we don't know we're doing that. We're just trying to be approved by society, just like everyone else is, until we wear what we're shown to wear and look the way we're shown to look, because we actually really want to draw connection into our life and heart, and we go about it all the wrong ways. We end up drawing flizziness into our lives, because that's what these messages promote. And then men as well. Like I feel with men having this conditioning of objectifying women, it must really hurt their relationships. Like relationships with, say, they're looking for a woman, but they're going out with these like hunter eyes, with women they just met, projecting this pig-like sexuality onto them, without first feeling their heart or seeing them as a person, or at least integrating all those together, and the woman can feel that, and there's not a connection happening, not a real one. And if they do get together, it'll probably be like a one-night stand, and that'll be that. I just think it's really empty, shallow, and sad way of being, and so rushed, rushed to the goal, to the reward of orgasm or whatever. So self-gratifying, and it just denies the other person as a person. And when you're constantly denied as a person, when you're walking around and you have been constantly denied as a person, you start to question that in yourself. Like, what is my worth if this is all I'm seen as, So it just works on both sides, It's never good to look past someone's heart and their true essence, no matter what, no matter how attractive they are, no matter how ugly they are, and whatever that means. It's never, and no matter what color they are, no matter what social status they are, all these things are happening all the time, and they're all very old paradigm ways of being. The separation from each other, this divisiveness, has left us all feeling kind of invisible in many ways, and conditionally loved by each other. Say if the attractive girl is given a lot of attention, she's always suspicious that it's for the wrong reason, and I know that personally. And she feels separated by the less attractive women who give her mean looks. Because if we're going on a hierarchy, there will always be someone higher or lower. So that's what we've been programmed to believe, right? We can say we're equal all we want, but the way we actually subconsciously are programmed and the way we live often with each other is as if this hierarchy was so real. And we arbitrarily make the rules for it. More attractive women get to the top of the ladder or whatever. The guys with more money get to the top of the ladder and should be given more respect and, you know, whatever, admiration. And then the ones that don't make as much money, the people in poor, lower income neighborhoods or families are often overlooked. They are often like ignored as far as being people. Like servers in restaurants are often treated as tools to get what you want, get the food you want, get the order you want as fast as you can, and have it make sure it's perfect quality. You could care less that you're dealing with another human being sometimes. And I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm going on a little rant. I was a server for a while. And I've also just always been sensitive to that, like that connection that we have with everybody. It's just as much as you have feelings and you go out and you want to be seen for who you are and respected, all these people we deem at the lower end of the ladder are also feeling the same way you are. They also have the same emotions, and they also get just as hurt and crushed when they come home from a day of being abused, like, serving all these people who are ungrateful and demanding and bossy. How rewarding is that? You're totally just doing your job for money, and you want to get the heck out of there when it's done. It's just horrible energy to be perpetuating. Which brings me to career and kind of how a lot of us have been living career-wise based on the old paradigm. And yeah, I think a lot of our careers have been centered around money instead of passion. So we've taken jobs. If we think we're deserving of more money, we'll look for the job that gives us the most money. We'll get the education needed. We'll whatever, strive, and we'll get what we think we're worth or deserve money-wise. But that is often the main aim. And vice versa, same thing. If you don't think you're worth a lot of money, then you won't look for those higher end jobs, and you won't demand that for yourself to get like a better paying job. But then you'll be sad, you'll be upset with yourself kind of the rest of your life. You'll always feel lower because you're still taking part in the hierarchy in your mind. Like, often I see poor people complaining about rich people. But what they don't realize is that they're playing the same game. And if they were to step out of the game, they could view the world from different glasses. They could realize their own self-worth and not need it to be dependent on money. And know that they may have just been born in unfortunate circumstances. And if they came out of their victim mentality, they might be able to get out of those circumstances faster. But I just find that it's a sad, product of sometimes the neighborhood you're born in or the family you're born into. You begin to accept your role or your place in the ladder in society, and you're perpetually held down. There's always a ceiling that you can't cross. I just find that really sad. But like I said, it's all playing the same game. And I know that game feels really real because it's one that we've agreed upon as a culture. But that's all it is. It's a game that we agreed upon. It's a story that we've told ourselves about worth, about what humans are worth. But if you think about a way for you to flip that on its head and to see the truth is to, if you are open to this, to see yourself first as a spiritual being, to see yourself innately having worth by just being born into an amazing body, capable of so many functions all at once, just, effortlessly creating this homeostasis, like this balance in your body. Like, it's just amazing. You're amazing to be in this incredible body and to be the light behind your eyes, to be the person animating your eyes, is incredible. It's a miracle. It's a miracle if you think about that. It doesn't matter how you look, you're in this incredible body and you're sending your essence out to others when they see your eyes, and that you're communicating all the time, and you're shining God's light. I think that's worth something. That's incredible. That's where value lies to me. And the meaning you give your life is where I think happiness also lies. The loving people you surround yourself with, not the car you drive. There's so many miserable rich people who feel lonely and they don't get along well with their families, and they're not in happy relationships, and they're not really happy. They're just still, but they're clinging to that, identity that at least I have my car, at least I'm worth something because I have my car, my BMW. I don't mean to say that. My mom has one, but it can be used as that symbol, a symbol of worth. And it's always going to be BS. And anyone who can really see you will see right past it. So that's a funny thing. We're all just looking for love and acceptance and people to deeply see into us, giving us the unconditional love that we so need or want. Even though we are love, I don't think we really need it. But anyway, we think we're lacking and we're looking for it in the world. So ironically, we do these things to get it. But then probably the few people that will show it to us in our lives, this unconditional love, will not even give a crap about the car that you drive or the house you have, what you wear or what you look like, how skinny or fat you are. They're going to just look directly at you and pierce directly through your soul and see you. And they're just going to feel love because they know your essence. And that's what I think we're all looking for. In the end, I heard recently someone say, we're looking for love in all the wrong places. But that's exactly what we're doing. So, I think I'm going a long time on this one. I think I'll do more parts, absolutely. I'm feeling a little under the weather. I kind of had a stomach bug last night. So, I don't know, I'm just feeling that kicking in. Time to take a break. So thank you so much for joining me. And again, I hope you learn more about the masculine and feminine, and there's still so much more to come, so please join me for parts 3 to 10, maybe 20. Okay, thank you so much. Namaste.